Ebusia, my more power and braching so a high gauge politics avenue. Quick one, young some CCA, na a bo ever a chairman Wontumi as we Channel's mom said, case no, a mobile and it did not uphold a year if yasan a year, some boy case no. Turn on the forest, and so Ediano air pending, Sanso and Exim bank loan, so air pending. Now, Channel's mom said, a maybe a chum, one in lawyer and the appear could be at the Apple 9 court, said, and a court a momo nanka, Omuni a year, Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayini, and Transi Nanka, Omo. And Japan Bafaswa, or with me a clear a year look. Court a grantee woman, Emma Omo Eddie Equadine a year, Office of the Attorney General, Siskano, Madia to Umbede, Omo Ebitria. Na Yankabianshi, any day, and a year Deputy Attorney General, just a same side, a day above so say a year initial offer of the buyer, Sabia Sunsi Benyadona and talk assume, the Sentinel Omo and soon, Menoka say a year clean negotiation. Still a coso. Na measure say Bobo your paying Cassiano Asway. A Brawajam brain will be in Chum, Efasine Simusi, Shannon Swam say, aha, agent politics album.
Take a look.
Cannot be an accurate description of what happened. I mean, this is a case which has been tried fairly, with a lot of the discretion during the trial exercised in favor of the accused person. The question is, if this is a political persecution and they believe strong, that means that you believe strongly that you are innocent, right? If you are innocent, the manner in which you even conducted yourself to the latter end is as if you knew that you didn't have a defense. And I don't know if you have had the opportunity to read the judgment, but most of the evidence that we have, the pieces of evidence that we have, which the judge relied on, came from their defense. Defense witnesses, the accused person's own comments, his own witness statement, his own police statement. Those were the materials that formed the basis for the conclusion of the judgment. So it will be shocking. It is shocking to me, but that they would say is political persecution. But I understand what we do. This is politics in a way. I mean, what they are doing is politics, and they issued that statement, or they had a press conference when they have not even seen. They had not seen the judgment. So do you expect them, now that they've seen the judgment, they will go back and say what we said was wrong? They would never do that. They would rather double down and say things. But so far, I don't think anyone has pointed to any aspect of the judgment that they believe strongly that is so erroneous.
Should the constitutional matter that Samuel Atachian raised in court have stalls the reading or the decision making of the judge at any point at all?
So when you raise a constitutional question in the lower court, the Constitution says that the judge ought to first examine your issue to determine whether it's a legitimate issue. If the judge finds out that it's a real and genuine issue, then he has to stay the proceedings and make the reference. And if the judge finds out that it is not a real or genuine issue, the judge is supposed to dismiss it and proceed with the trial. And if you don't agree, then you appeal against the judge's decision. The policy reason is simple. Someone who doesn't want the trial to continue will just be raising constitutional issue today, and then you call all the 9 judges in the Supreme Court to decide, and after that he will come back and raise another one. So the rules are designed, or the principles are designed to make sure that you don't use them. We call it abuse of the court processes. And for us, that's exactly what we saw in this matter. It was an attempt to to use the court processes or court rules to delay the trial and to prevent a decision from being reached. And it was not difficult for us that the judge dismissed it. The judge saw through it because there was no real genuine issue. What they were saying was, you have pleaded guilty to a particular count. You did not raise any issue. You've gone through trial. Trial has ended. You have filed your address, which is the final act that everyone does. Then you come to say, oh, I think what I have pleaded to, I have provided witnesses to do was vague. So I want the court to. That is not to say that you cannot raise it, but when you raise it that late, chances are that you are not being genuine. And in this case, they were not genuine.
And so you must have heard that the counsel or former counsel is hard to describe him right now, but he told us that, look, on the last day of the trial, Chairman Wontumi called me and he says, look, if this goes south, I want you to appeal for me. So you must have heard that they are planning to go on appeal on this.
I found it strange that actually happened. And it gives me a lot of, it supports our suspicion that swap of counsel which happened between the close of case and the judgment was only designed to delay the case, because you said you don't want this lawyer again. I want Atachian to come. Then after you have been convicted, before you go to court, you reportedly had told the lawyer that you didn't want that, oh, if I'm convicted, I want you to continue to represent me. It tells me that you clearly have a design, or you had a design to delay you just did that thing to delay the process. So that itself, I find it very strange. And when I heard it, I was like, okay, it's clear to Ghanaians that this whole thing is just a drama to frustrate the cause of justice.
In the state's view, is there anything to appeal?
We don't think there's any proper basis for anyone to appeal this decision. Of course, the right to appeal is guaranteed. You can appeal, but I do not think that any appeal will succeed against this case, as I understand it.
I want us to take a break. When we come back, let's talk a bit more about what they say is selective justice. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back. I'm sitting down with the Deputy Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana, Dr. Justice Shremsai. Again, Doc, I appreciate your time with us here. I did say that when we come back, we'll look at the minorities case, that this is selective justice. Their basis for that is that the Attorney General's office had referred some cases to do with illegal mining and members of the NDC to IOCO. And it hasn't moved as fast as the Temanwu to Misamre Boy case. The question they are asking is why?
There's actually no basis for that claim. When was Chairman Wontumi arrested? Somewhere August last year. When did the Attorney General direct IOCO to do this investigation?
I think Chairman Wontumi was May of last year, and this one was July of last year.
Okay, so you see the difference, right? Actually, Chairman Wontumi's investigation started in 2021 when this minority shade people were in government. So that's like how many years now?
5.
So if it took 5 years to get into, on what basis are you saying that it didn't? This one is not going as fast as the Wontumi one? So you see some of these things, when you listen to the minority sometimes and you just apply the facts, you will see that there's more of politics than any factual analysis of the situation.
But what kind of...
Many other people were arrested long before the AG gave a directive to IOCO to investigate. They've gone to BNI, they've gone to IOCO, they've gone to police, but they are not yet in court, because investigations take time. So if you are saying that, which month did you give?
May and July.
July to July, as compared to some of them who were invited, or some of the former government officials who were invited way back in January, February 2025, and they are not yet in court and their investigations are not yet concluded. So you see, if we want to use that timeline, then it's even too early to be talking about these.
So where is the state in pursuing those cases?
Investigation is still ongoing.
Okay.
Obviously, investigation is still ongoing.
That's all you can tell us.
Yes. You can't say much. You can't say much about it. Or you want to know the actual investigative steps?
But they're still sitting at IOCO.
No, if you say sitting, it's as if it's there and it's not moving. Investigation takes time. That's why I gave you the timeline for Wontumi. They started investigating Wontumi since 2020. If you look at the docket, since 2021. See how long it took for him to be charged, to even be arrested and be charged and brought to court January 2020. We started the trial January 2020. So
what assurance can you give the Ghanaian people who are watching that, look, we are as much interested in this one as we are?
I don't even need to give further assurance. I just have to refer people to history. President Dramani Mahama had prosecuted his own appointees and they were found guilty before. That should be enough confidence to everybody that this is not a president or this is not a government who would close. The president will not, the president I know and we Ghanaians know is not the kind of president who would clear his people and be what? Prosecuting other people, other members of other political parties. He's done it before. His own appointees, he's prosecuted them, they've been found guilty and have been sentenced and have served the sentence fully. So it is not something that I think the average Ghanaian or the typical Ghanaian will be worried that President Mahama will cover up for his appointees. It is just, that's what I keep saying, that when you listen to the minority and you run what they say through the facts, you see that there is no basis for most of the things they say.
We have two other cases against him. The one in which he has a plea bargaining proposition to the Attorney General's office, and another illegal mining related one as well. Let's start off with the plea deal. Where are we with that?
They made a plea proposal of what they want to offer. We, in our opinion, they've not satisfied us, so we intend to reject it. In fact, we have in our minds rejected it, just that we've not had a meeting with them to inform them of our rejection. So it's like any bargaining. You give, you take. So we were supposed to meet yesterday, but of course what happened yesterday couldn't allow the meeting. And we are still trying to get that meeting done before we go back to court next week.
What was brought to the table that you're rejecting?
Well, they offered to pay some amount.
How much?
No, that is, it's enough that we are still bargaining. But the plea bargaining itself is supposed to be, it's not supposed to be out there. When we finish, we announce the conclusion. But they made an offer. It's enough for the public to know that they made an offer which we found inadequate, and we're going to meet them to inform them of our rejection. And then,
without giving numbers, what would look like a proper proposition or proposal to the Attorney General's office?
I mean, for example, we ought to pay all the money with interest. I mean, otherwise, then what's the point?
We can conclude that was not what was brought to the table.
Well, that is not.
We can draw that conclusion.
I don't think you can, but if you want to, that's also fine.
Well, so that's just a portion of the full interview that my colleague, that's Kamini Amano, had with Dr. Justice Exim earlier today. But what bothers on Wontumi is what you've just heard him talk about, answering some of the questions that the NPP has been putting to this particular judgment after it was handed Wontumi yesterday. 20 years jail term with some fines as well to pay. He says he doesn't see any path to an appeal. The NPP and the minority clear in their minds that they are going to appeal this particular ruling. The full interview will be played in the coming days, so watch TV3. But one person who is quite close to Wontumi, he's been seen in and out, or he was seen in and out of court with him, accompanying Wontumi before yesterday. In fact, yesterday in the morning, before Wontumi was told the judgment by the trial judge, he was with him in court in the morning. I'm talking about Dr. Ťrǒublě Dankwa. He is the spokesperson for the Wontumi for NPP National Chair campaign team. And he's joining us on the telephone for a quick conversation. I thank you very much for joining us here on Ghana Tonight, Dr. Ťrǒublě Dankwa. Yesterday when we spoke, you indicated to me that you were going to visit Wontumi in the Nsawam medium prison today, this morning. You'll be there to to give him breakfast and so on. That's what you said. Did you do that?
Well, we had other engagements, and so we sent.
In it. History would not remember this moment for the length of centuries. It will remember whether Ghana, when tested, chose to defend the Constitution for everyone or only for the power of the day. We choose everyone, we choose the Constitution, and we will be judged rightly by whether we meant it. Chairman Wontumi is a political prisoner.
Now, that's the description that the minority and the NPP have given to Chairman Wontumi after being jailed 20 years as a political prisoner. But I'll tell you what, his counsel, his lead counsel, Samuel Atacha, as you do know now, was not in court yesterday when that judgment was delivered. He had already notified the court of his absence. Questions were asked, exactly where was he? What could have taken him away from representing his counsel in court? Well, today, Samuel Atacha has been speaking. He spoke to Joy FM earlier today, giving details of why he wasn't present in person in court for his client on Judgment Day and what he intends to do going forward. And this is it. Now it is emerging that he was in the UK to attend his daughter's graduation ceremony on the same day. This is it. And he's quoted as saying it's very unfortunate because of the hard fact that if I should let you know how personal it was for me to join my daughter who was graduating in the UK, I didn't see how I could have absented myself from my daughter's graduation ceremony. So that's where he was, reason why he couldn't attend to court on the said Judgment Day of Chairman Wontumi. And haven't notified the court in that respect. He says there was a constitutional matter staring at the court in the face, and we wanted to move that motion, which I knew if the judge would respect the hierarchy of the court and even the law, the reference should have been made, which would mean that I need not be around when a judgment is being pronounced. Also, I had not left Ghana to sort of leave.
We ain't some who are team course of channel, so I'm not so yet, but that's an extra what India don't be a domain. That's an issue.